So we'll start the
Did I give you
video. Yeah.
Did I give you my card?
You did not.
I
You
did not?
I'd love to have your
Okay.
card.
So,
Thank you so much. Excellent. So cool. Nice.
in 2006, we were contacted by the Hornet CEO, and we had an exhibit in Morgan Hill at a Buddhist temple annex building that we had put together. And so we invited him, a newspaper man up here that's part of our organization, Martin Snap, had invited him and us to meet here on the Hornet.
Yeah.
So after talking to him, we told him he should come to our exhibit at Morgan Hill. And he lived in Concord or someplace, so he was driving past us. So one day he came over and we showed him what we had, and he said, I didn't know this. I didn't know about the evacuation of Japanese people. I didn't know about the military service. And he said, do you think you could duplicate this and put it on the Hornet? And of course we thought, oh, wonderful, an opportunity to really, expand to the public that we would never see at the Morgan Hill facility. So we said, sure, we'll think about it. But then, so we came up here, and that was about a year later, and they said, all the exhibits on the Hornet are on the second deck down below. So they took us down below. We had 2-3 meetings here in the officers' mess, that have you been down there?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very, nice. But then as you come out that hallway where the exhibits are, it's crowded. And Brian, do you know Brian Shurayama?
No.
He's a retired Air Force colonel. He's the one that did most of the work in putting this together.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot tall, and the pipe. He was bumping the pipe with his head. So the second deck is short down and narrow hallways, and we picked out a spot, and it was full of bunks. So we started to dismantle the bunks, and I think Rick Tom, do you know him?
Yep, I know Rick very well, yeah.
Rick worked for me at one time.
Did he really?
When
Oh, wow.
we owned a travel agency in San Jose.
Really?
And this is before he went to work for Continental Airlines in Hawaii.
Right.
So anyway, Rick was, and we met Rick as, oh my God, old friends. So
That's neat.
he said, I think we have a better place for you. And this was a mess here.
I bet,
It was full of junk. It was a storage place. And he said it probably was a studio of some sort or a library or something on the ship. And we were not supposed to touch anything. Like, you have to, this is the original trial, went through the war, got to remain.
Yeah.
And everything was that awful navy gray paint. Disney, hardly any lights.
Yeah.
And we said, we're going to paint it white. And they said, no, you can't. And I said, wait a minute. Down in the second deck, those rooms are all white. Oh, okay. So they let us paint everything white.
There we
Of course,
go, right.
And then the electrician put more lights in, and we put these drapes in, and in fact, we had the floor covered with blue carpeting, but the leak just, so we never replaced the rug.
Great.
But it took us a couple of years to put it together piece by piece. And,
I bet.
we started with these 3 rooms, and one of our members, I was at his deathbed, and he lived in Stockton, and I was just kind of sitting over here, and the bed's over here, and his wife is with him. And he was very peacefully, kind of like he was asleep. And then he spoke up and called his wife over. And he kind of semi-whispered, bring the checkbook. And he says, I want you to write a check for $50,000 to give to FFMV, our organization.
Yeah, wow.
And she says, 15,000? No, 50,000. So she wrote the check for 50,000.
Wow.
He signed it. She handed it to me. That was his last thing that he did. He passed away later that day.
Wow.
But I took that money and I bought all these chairs and
Nicest chairs on the Hornet, I understand, yes.
and we had a different TV. It was worth $3,000-4,000. It was donated by another person, and then something happened. It broke or whatever, so we bought another one.
Nice.
But we were able to develop all the exhibit with that money, and gradually the 3 rooms over here became our exhibit. And that, what's in there, the MIS exhibit was part of this second room, and it was so crowded, and as you're mixing up things,
Yeah.
Rick said, we have more rooms over here. They're a little smaller, but maybe it would help clear some of the clutter. So we cleaned out that room, and actually I think maybe we should get another room and go a little further, because we still looks like we're too crowded. But anyway, that's where it stands right now. But
Wow.
that's the story behind our.
That's amazing backstory in itself, right? The fact that on his
And,
deathbed he donated that money.
We are the only Army exhibit on a U.S. Navy ship.
And that's pretty neat,
And-
yeah.
When we first got up around 2007 and 8, as we were working, the Navy guy, the docents were all ex-Navy pilots and whoever was on the ship and all. And they're kind of saying, what are these Army guys doing?
What are they doing on a ship, right?
I don't think they really wanted the exhibit. But when we got it going, and Brian used this table over here, started having training sessions for the docents, and coffee, donuts, early Saturday morning, and we'd have a room full of guys here. And boy, gradually,
That'll bring him in.
And he keeps bringing them chocolate, candy.
A little bribe there.
He really, got them to appreciate what we were doing.
Absolutely.
And of course, gradually, the docents now, they just feel that, this is a really good exhibit.
It's really nice, yeah.
I don't think we can do much more because of the room sizes, but at least we're able to have 4 rooms that people can sit and spend time if they want and learn.
Absolutely.
You really can't just talk about it. You have to sit and read or watch video or whatever.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. And that was when was it completed? What year was this completed?
Probably completed around 2008, 2009, somewhere in there.
So it's been over 10 years?
We never actually put the exhibit downstairs, so it was all put together up here.
Up here.
The only thing is a little hard to get up and down.
Sure.
There's a back way here.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, where that gray door is.
Yeah, in the back there.
That opens into a stairway. It's about a 45-degree stairway.
Oh, wow.
And it opens out into where the maintenance men are working.
Okay, yeah.
So when we have somebody that's handicapped with a wheelchair, we can actually carry him up through those stairs up here and bring his wheelchair up.
Wow.
So we can bring handicapped people by
that's
using
really
the back
nice.
stairway.
That's great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
most people can climb up and down that vertical stair, but
Sure.
not the handicapped.
No, you need some assistance, definitely. Aw.
So, do you have questions that you might want?
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to maybe go through some of the highlights in each of the compartments. Is that?
Why don't you ask what you'd like to know more about?
Yeah,
and I'll try to
definitely.
answer.
You said that the internment camps they didn't develop overnight, right? They basically were building them. It sounds like before even the order came down.
1942.
Yeah.
February 1942 is when the order was made. So the first camp that was